Hey guys, Alex from On Street Garage here. Welcome to another episode on the Land Cruiser. Today is probably the most exciting episode for me. We're going to be doing something that I've been waiting a long time to do. The weather's pretty nasty outside, so we're spending the day in. Christmas has come early. I've bought myself a bunch of gifts for this car, so I'm going to get set up, show you what we've got and what we're doing today. So some of you have seen that I've done the suspension, the springs and shocks a while ago. I'll put a link to that video if you haven't seen it yet, because it's obviously the first thing most people do when they lift their four-wheel drive. But we're going for a next stage of sort of supporting what's here to get everything dialed in properly. So I think these are upper control arms, maybe lower. The control arms that we need either way. They're fully adjustable so that we can get the diff and everything facing the way we want it to. We've got adjustable panhards front and rear. I mean, they're probably not super necessary with a small lift like mine, only 2 inches, but what I've noticed is on one side, the tire rubs up in the guard pretty hard when it's flexed up, and it's not quite sitting straight. So we'll get those in and get the tires where they need to be, get everything aligned nicely. Just another level sort of dialing in that suspension. And here, I'm not exactly sure what's in each of these, but I think this one might be trailing arms. So trailing arms, I'll put up a clip here. I went to Hill Ends for some camping and four-wheel driving quite a while ago now, and there was a tree root that we got it on a very weird angle. And I think it's a pretty common thing that people bang up the trailing arms. It's a bit bent. So these are, I think, 11 mil longer, which should make it drive a little bit nicer again with the lift, but they're also a lot more heavy duty. So I went with all of this stuff because I like the factory black. I don't want the car to be all looking chrome plated and shiny underneath. I think that draws attention you don't want. So these should improve the driving experience a little bit more again. So this to me is probably one of the more exciting things that we're doing. These are new radius arms. I think this will make the biggest difference to its on-road handling. They're to suit a 3-inch lift. A lot of what I've seen on the internet says if you get a 2-inch lift, 3-inch radius arms will give you the caster that you're looking for, so it'll steer a lot nicer. So you've got a pair of those. Again, these are from Black Hawk. No one sponsored any of this, I've bought it all. But I like that they look nice and stock. They're a relatively low profile for what they are. And today, this is the fun bit, right? So, my last video, we were obviously trying to figure out what's what with the DTS kit. This is the replacement that I got. So with the replacement kit, there's a few bits and pieces here that come with it. I've been told this is a bolt-on. So I guess we'll find out whether it is really a bolt-on. Lots of bits and pieces there. Little elbow. My intercooler hasn't arrived yet, but I've also got a new, second-hand bull bar off Marketplace that I'm going to be fitting. So I'm going to do that and the front mount intercooler at the same time. The car's booked in for injectors next week. So what I want to do is get this turbo on, and we'll just do like a mini version of the test we did last time. So just changing the turbo, we get it back to back. Okay, so whenever I work on anything like this, I find the easiest way is to just clear everything out of the way to give you the best access. There's no point in trying to leave 1 or 2 things on that are going to slow you down. So here I've just taken out the air box. We work on the intake pipe and get the intercooler out of the way so we've got good access. So at this stage I get some penetrant spray and give everything a good soak on the turbo. I've heard a lot of nightmare stories of people snapping studs off and then it becomes a very big job. So I'll let that sit for a bit whilst the intercooler comes off, and that made sure that everything came out nice and easy. Okay, so turbo is out. It's a bit of a fiddly job, but easy enough to do. So I'm just getting all the fittings off it now, and then I'm going to put it on the bench next to the new turbo and just make sure all of our fittings are going to match up the way they should. We've got a couple of new bits and pieces, so I'll just walk you through that. Get this turbo back on, get it primed with oil. I think we'll have to burp the water system because we lost a little bit of coolant. And we'll road test it, hopefully today. Okay, so you can see new turbo against old turbo here. Slightly bigger intake. It's a dual port wastegate. And you can see the rear housing on the old one is a lot bigger. This one's got a lot smaller rear housing, which means this one should be a lot more responsive. So all I'm doing now is all of the fittings that are on the old turbo. The new kit comes with fittings that match. So it's just getting everything over where it needs to be. They've sent me a couple of braided lines too. So once everything's attached to the turbo, I'm gonna get it mounted and then we'll just make sure that all those lines make sense and bolt up. I've got an oil feed currently, and I also had a water feed that I'm going to retain. Look, to be honest, I wouldn't actually say this is a true bolt-on kit. I know nothing really is these days, but there's some design stuff here that is kind of weird to me. It doesn't really make sense. So this is one side of our water where there's like a banjo bolt. So on this side, they've given me these weird elbows which have like a push-on fitting at one end. And the idea is that that goes onto the side of the turbo, and then there's one on the other side and you run some rubber in the middle. So what my car came with is just one single braided piece here with a banjo. So I want to get the banjo in here, but even their design, to try and get that elbow in there and bolt it up where it needs to go, there's a bracket for the wastegate and there's like a friggin' bolt right in the way. Doesn't really make sense. So I think it's a case of you get what you pay for. If you want something that you literally unbolt and bolt in, this isn't it. But I'll persist, I'll stuff around with it a little bit and we'll make it work. Okay, so a couple of goes in and out just to make everything work, but it looks like I've made sense of it. So I've got water up here. We've just gone to what was there before. The banjo sneaks up in there just how it sat before. Oil feed, so you got water in, water out. Oil in. I've just got to hook up the bottom half now, which is pretty straightforward. Get the exhaust bolted back on, and then we can go ahead and put everything back together, I think. Get it primed up and see how she goes. This bracket here, it's like a protector for your steering. It needed to be folded back whilst the turbo went in. So yeah. We'll get this all sorted out and I'll see you guys again when it's on. We ran out of time yesterday. To be honest, this turbo kit, it's pretty disappointing in the sense that in caps on the website, they say this is a direct bolt-on. The only thing that bolted on directly was the actual turbo to the manifold. So I've had to cut the dump, as you can hear, just so that there's some exhaust on there. It was nowhere near lining up. When I tried to bolt it up, it rubbed on the front drive shaft. It was just terrible. So we're going to an exhaust shop at lunchtime today. The intercooler pipe did not line up with the top pipe of the turbo. I've like wrestled something on there just enough to keep the car running so we can get it where it needs to be. Luckily, there's an intercooler front mount coming next week, so I can get that on and make that all work. The lines that it came with were not very good. So there was a line for the water out off the side of the turbo, and it fouls on the wastegate bracket, whether you run their water pipes or my existing one. I've run my existing one because the water pipes it comes with go to like 2 push-on fittings and don't supply any rubber hose. So you've got to go and buy your own rubber hose, and then you've got to put clamps on either end of that rubber hose. And for the sake of reliability, my existing kit has one single braided piece with a banjo, so we've put that back on. So look, overall, I would say the kit's kind of disappointing. For what you pay, it's not direct bolt-on. I would go and spend more money on a higher quality brand because it's a custom fitment. It's not a direct bolt-on. So a bit disappointing, but we're gonna make it all work. And the front intake of the turbo is a slightly different size to what was on the existing one, so that also doesn't work. So I've just been down the shops to buy a couple of bits and pieces to make that work. So we'll get it all hooked up. The turbo feels pretty responsive so far, and that's without an exhaust on it or an intake, so we'll get everything hooked up. We'll still test it, but if you are looking for a turbo kit that just bolts on, this is not it. Okay, so everything's connected back up. We've changed that elbow down there, the black one. You can see the intercooler pipe is under a lot of pressure, but it should be enough to get this started and running. So you can hear where the exhaust is missing, but in here we're looking all right. Sweet. Take it for a lap. Yeah, so under here, you can see, that's all we got. Alright guys, we've gone and bought a few bits and pieces just to make the intake work. There's still no exhaust on it, but it's a lot more responsive. I would say on average already, the EGTs are roughly 100 degrees down. So it's going to an exhaust shop at lunchtime today. We're gonna get the exhaust, the dump pipe all hooked up, because I had to cut it off for this turbo to fit. And then next episode you'll see me, we'll probably do some basic temperature testing as it is, but I don't want to do too much until the new injectors are in. So new injectors go in on Tuesday, so I'll probably make that the next episode. We'll do injectors. The front mount is really close behind, which will be another huge difference, I think. And then we get into all the suspension. So thanks for hanging around for this. Like I said before, the turbo, if you're looking for a true bolt-on, don't worry about this kit. But if you're happy to stuff around, it's probably one full day to do the swap. If you know what I know, it'll take a little bit less having the parts ready to go. And maybe if you have a good brand exhaust, it would bolt straight up. But yeah, we'll get injectors in, we'll do the road test, and we'll see what's what. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys.